Okay, we're still live. Sorry about that, friends. Anyways, Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about your your trip and what agencies you've been riding, for lack of a better word.
Well, I've been riding the MBTA, the New York Subway,
Uh-huh.
Washington Metro, the Baltimore Subway, and
What
BART over in San Francisco.
what's the difference between, say, the New York City Transit Subway and MBTA?
New York, the system is a lot larger with local and express trains. The MBTA does not have any express subways, and the system is just so much larger,
Okay.
carries so much more people, and is a
Longer
lot.
trains.
Oh yeah, definitely the trains are a lot longer. They carry a lot more people, a
And,
lot more frequent too.
and what about the fare
So, so the fare for the Boston subway is $2.40
for a single ride?
for single ride,
Okay, no discount.
no discount. For the MTA in New York, it's $2.95 for $2.90.
Yeah, 290.
$2.90 for a single fare. So New York is a lot more, like 50 cents more than Boston.
Okay. And what about you also took a side trip to Philadelphia
Yep.
and you rode a lot of different equipment and a lot of different agencies, right?
Yeah. I went to Philadelphia a few days ago, and I rode SEPTA. Their stuff's actually pretty good.
And SEPTA has many different types of modes, right?
Yep. They have subway, light rail, trolleys, buses, regional rail, quite a bit.
And what do you, for regional rail, what's your favorite?
You mean like in terms of equipment?
Equipment or just ride quality?
I did ride the Silverliner 5s quite recently. I thought that they were nice and quiet.
That's SEPTA,
De-
right?
yep.
Okay.
Decently comfy ride. Good announcements. Good LED screens. Just good transit vehicles, in my opinion.
And what do you think of New Jersey Transit? You also did New Jersey Transit, correct?
Yeah. New Jersey Transit is, for a Bostonian, I think it's very good. The trains are almost always on time. The seats are nice and comfy, and the frequency on some of the lines, like the Northeast Corridor, are really, really, really nice.
And what about the MBTA commuter rail?
So, the MBTA commuter rail, usually non-rush hour weekdays, it's about an hour between trains. Rush hour, about 30 minutes. And weekends, it's every 2 hours between trains, which is honestly really bad for a commuter rail. 2 hours between trains is bad.
What about the equipment?
On the MBTA, some of their coaches are getting up there in age, and I do think they should be replaced soon.
40 years, 50 years?
Yeah, roughly about that. The older Comets.
Okay. Now you also rode the River Line.
Yeah, New Jersey Transit River Line. So that uses single car DMUs, and I thought it was really nice. So I think it's roughly about 30, 35 miles, and the fare was only $1.70 to go like 30 miles. That's very cheap, in my opinion.
And how was the ride quality?
Very smooth. The train was going up to like 65 miles an hour, and it's very nice, very scenic, very fast, very comfortable, just very pleasant ride.
And what about you also uh, rode the Patco?
Patco Speed Line.
Yeah. Describe that or explain that.
So, the Patco system, I think, is very, very, very nice. The trains there, the Patco trains are definitely a little on the old side, but they've recently been refurbished, and they give a really smooth ride. The seats are nice and comfortable, and the views going over the bridge, really, really, really nice.
Now, do they still have the, what do you call it? The Fulmer view?
Railfan window?
Rail fan window, right?
I do not think so.
Okay. But you said you did have a trip with a rail fan window.
Yeah, SEPTA Market Frankfurt line.
Okay.
I rode it on the elevated section, and I got the railfan window right at the front, and it was really nice.
Now, what about the Broad Street line? Do they have rail fan window?
No, they do not.
Okay. So you rode the Broad Street line, Market Frankfurt line. What else did you ride in Philly?
SEPTA Route 15, and
Describe that.
okay, so basically, the Route 15 uses the old PCC trolleys, and the ride was nice. The trolley was actually pretty crowded, so I'm glad that it gets some pretty good ridership. And frequency, I think it's about every 10 to 15 minutes, which honestly isn't that bad.
How would you compare it to the Mattapan line in Boston, which also uses PCCs, right?
Yeah, the Mattapan line does use PCCs, but believe it or not, I haven't been out that way in quite a bit.
Okay. But the equipment is very similar.
I feel like yes.
Okay. And what about the Silverliners? Is that what they're called?
On SEPTA, the electric multiple units.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are Silverliners.
Now, do they have the rail fan window?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
But the Silverliners, they're also pretty comfortable, give a smooth ride. They're good trains.
And how old are those?
So, I believe the Silverliner 5s are about maybe like 8 to 10 years old, and the Silverliner 4s, I think they're getting close to 40, but they've recently been overhauled, so still good for some time.
And what did you ride today? I know tomorrow you're heading back to Boston.
So today I rode the Atlantic. Wait, what is it? I rode the Long Island Railroad from Atlantic Terminal to East New York, and then I walked over to Broadway Junction, got on the A, took that to. Where did I go again? I forget.
Rockaway?
No, I went to Broad Channel. That was it.
A Broad Channel. Okay.
So that's where the A transfers to the one of the shuttle trains, which goes
Far
And the-
Rockaway?
Far Rockaway. Because I think there's two trains that go out there. The A goes to Far Rockaway, and the shuttle goes
Rockaway Park?
Rockaway Park, I believe.
Okay.
But the A was it was pretty nice. It was fast. I'd have to say it wasn't that frequent because headways were about every 15 minutes, which not the best for a subway.
Yeah, I tell you, you kind of lucked out because I believe they're shutting that down for a major overhaul for a few months. The Rockaway, and they're just going to have bus shuttles.
Shuttle buses are no fun.
Yeah, but I mean it's a big project, and I think there's still some remnants of damage from Hurricane Sandy, and it'll come back, but they're going to shut it down for a major overhaul. So you kind of picked a good day to ride out there.
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so speaking of shuttle buses, the MBTA recently got rid of all of their major speed restrictions throughout the entire system. So the MBTA system is now a lot faster.
Well, that's good news.
Yes, it is.
And I'm familiar with the MBTA from my boyhood, I'll say. And what's your favorite line?
Blue line.
You have a favorite rail line?
Commuter rail. probably say Rockport because that's the one I ride the most.
And I know this year they're going to start the service to New Bedford and Fall River.
I'm pretty excited for that.
Do you know when that's going to happen?
All I know is that I think it's spring or summer 2025.
Okay, it's coming up.
John says he enjoys riding the D line of the Green Line. I do too.
Yeah, okay.
The D line is very fast, very scenic, and it goes out really, really far into Newton.
Yeah, one time that was a railroad line.
Yeah, it was a railroad line.
The Riverside line, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the only Green Line that I've at one point I rode it end to end. I've yet to ride the Heath Street. I think beyond Prudential. Is that where it turns off from the main line?
Yeah, Copley, and then Prudential's where it
Yeah.
switches off.
I think I've taken it to Prudential, but never to Heath Street.
MBTA 1234 says the E is his favorite. E line is pretty good. It goes down the larger part of the Green Line extension in Somerville and Medford, and it goes down Huntington Avenue, does some street running, and then it loops back at Heath Street.
Okay, that's the E. Oh, that's MBTA 1234's favorite.
Yep.
Yeah. And John says he believes the Worcester commuter rail line would stop at Riverside.
I mean, it's not that far. I think it's like a 15-20 minute walk from Riverside to the closest station. I do think there are some abandoned tracks that go from Riverside kind of close to the commuter rail.
And what about the talk of extending the Worcester line to Springfield?
I don't really have any information on that, sadly.
Would that be MBTA or would that be another agency since Springfield's definitely not in the MBTA region?
I'd prefer it to be Amtrak service because it's going to be a longer ride. You definitely wouldn't want to be sitting on a commuter rail car for a few hours.
Well, it's 100 miles from Boston.
Yeah, you don't want to be riding a commuter rail car that long.
Okay. So speaking of the Worcester line, is that the most traffic line out of South Station?
I believe so. Second is probably the Providence line, because the Worcester and the Providence line have very, very high ridership. Almost all the trains out of there are almost completely double deckers.
We have a question. Is it possible to get a monthly Amtrak pass?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure. I know they used to sell commuter tickets when they had the clockers between New York and Philadelphia, which have been replaced by the Keystone, because there are people that do commute on Amtrak. You looking it up?
So John asks, I thought the Providence line was first when it comes to ridership. I'm looking that up right now.
Out of the South Division. Out of the North Division, I think it's the Newburyport-Rockport line, isn't it?
Yep, Newburyport-Rockport line is definitely the busiest on the north side.
Are the north side total ridership larger than the south side?
South side ridership is higher than the north side ridership. Okay, I'm pulling up the ridership numbers for the commuter rail right now. The Newburyport-Rockport line has the highest. Is it? Newburyport-Rockport line has roughly 11,333 daily riders.
Okay.
Worcester line is 10,500 riders.
Close second.
Providence Stoughton line is 17,000 riders. So.
Oh, that's the biggest then.
Yeah, Providence
Okay.
line I guess is the biggest or highest ridership.
Yeah, John, you're correct. Providence by a long shot.
Yeah.
Maybe the Newburyport line is the largest line out of
North Station? Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that, John. Now, you said you took the Long Island Railroad today out of Brooklyn?
Well, I took it out of Atlantic Terminal and took it out of East New York.
Yeah, that's Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Both of those in Brooklyn. So, what type of equipment were they running on the shuttle? It's like a shuttle to Jamaica, right?
I think so, yes.
Is it like M3s? The old.
Actually, when I went there, it was the M7s.
Okay.
Long Island Railroad and Metro North have a lot of M7s, like
Yeah.
several hundred. Speaking of the M7s, so they're really, really, really nice, comfortable, smooth. The seats are comfortable, and I like the noises that the traction motors make.
What about the M9s?
M9s, those are I think they're basically just a more updated M7.
Yeah. They look very similar.
They do.
Yeah.
But the M9s are also very nice. And the ride quality is a little better, but that's probably just because they're brand new.
So you took it from the Atlantic Terminal, which is like downtown Brooklyn, to East New York. Was that the first stop or the second stop?
I believe that was the second.
And how is that station like, East New York?
East New York, it is literally just a platform. I think it's underneath a highway overpass. So
Yeah.
not the best location for a station. And after I got off the Long Island Railroad, I walked over to Broadway Junction.
That's a pretty famous rail fanning spot for subways, right?
I think so, because the L and the J and the Z stop there. Although I think the Z is only during rush hour, I believe.
Yeah, correct. Is the A there too?
So, yep, the A, C, and E, yep. Those are underground, so...
Well, not the E. It's the E ends at.
Oh, yeah. Just the A and the C.
Yeah, A and the C.
Something that surprised me was when I got down there, I stayed there for like 20 minutes just to see the trains. There were quite a few R211s out. So, Kawasaki's building the R211s very fast. They're going into service very fast.
And what did you think of the R211s?
So, I got to ride one, and here's my honest thoughts on the R211s. They're good trains, they're brand new. The announcements and all the digital display boards are really nice.
Yeah.
But something that I'm going to have to criticize them for is lack of seating. There's a lot of seats that could be on the train, but they're just missing.
Okay. Somebody else, one of my coworkers that rides the A or the C every day, she didn't like about it. She thought it was too bright with the ads, just kind of like no escaping from it. The digital ads. I like it. I don't mind the lack of seats if you're just going a short way. I think kind of the seats kind of make the cars a little bit more cramped. But yeah, and the A train does have like one of the longest routes. I think maybe the longest. So for some rides, the seats are important. Now, did you come across any of the open gangway?
No, I did not. No open gangway cars.
Those are right now on the C, and I think it's just two. I think they just have two trains, and they're going to be moving them to the G. And the G, did you ride the G today?
Yes, I did.
Okay. The G is 5-car trains,
Yep.
and so I think that the G is going to get 4 open gangway. They're at least getting 2. And where'd you go on the G today?
So I went from, I think it was 21st Ave to a station that was really high up.
Oh, Smith Knight.
Yeah, Smith and Ninth.
Yeah.
And then also the F stops at Smith and Ninth too. And there's some really good views of the city at that station. It's really high up.
So, okay, John says, are they making trains more standing friendly for more space?
They're definitely making room for more standees, yes.
Yeah, and I think when people are standing, the loading and unloading is probably quicker, so they can reduce the dwell time.
Yeah.
And MBTA 1234 says, where are you guys heading? May I ask? I notice you're at Penn Station. We are at Penn Station. We're really just kind of
Hanging out.
hanging out here. It's well past the peak of the rush hour, so it's not too crowded. There are a number of people in the waiting room. Let's take a quick. In this waiting room here, this is in the older part of Penn Station, not the Moynihan Train Hall part. And this is I guess you call a secure waiting area. You have to have either a Jersey Transit ticket or an Amtrak ticket to hang out here. And so we had some New Jersey Transit tickets, and so we thought we would do the live stream from here.
Yeah.
It's pretty cold out there. Want to do it from the train station. Was hoping we'd have a little better view of the station. As you can see, it's we're kind of near like where a lot of the retail places are. We're right across from Cinnabon, and there's just a whole bunch of places here. Hudson Booksellers. And there's a Mexican bar over there. But anyways, yeah, we're not going anywhere. So John asks, any idea for the most expensive Amtrak ticket from the Northeast? I assume like a Boston to Miami or New York to Miami, regular coach or business. Actually, John, a regular coach going to Miami is not that much. I think a first class Excel ticket from Boston to Washington would probably be one of the most expensive tickets on the Northeast corridor. The other expensive tickets would be to get a room, to get a room from New York to Miami, or would be probably the most expensive.
Yeah, the roomettes and the bedrooms are very expensive.
Yeah, and I think the bedrooms are twice the cost of a roomette. But if you're just going coach, I think the Excella is the most expensive, and also depending when you're demand.
ETA 1234 says I was in that section when I went to New York City on January 4th. Nice.
Did you came down Amtrak? I take it.
They took the Acela.
Okay, so that's kind of a pricey ticket from, but it's a nice way to go from Boston to New York. And I'm just curious, how come you didn't hang out in Moynihan Train Hall rather than here? I mean, there's nothing wrong with here, but Moynihan Train Hall is a little bit
Better.
newer, Russia. Although within this, I will say, within this secured seating area, you have access to a Starbucks, which serves the people outside the seating area as well as people here. And at the other corner, there's also a bar that serves people just within the seating area and also outside. So you do have a couple services sitting here, which you don't have in the secured seating area at Moynihan Train Hall, unless you have a pass to go to the Metropolitan Lounge, which is pretty nice. And to do that, you either need a first class Excella ticket or a sleeping accommodation, or if you have enough points, you can get a pass for that. Okay, MBTA 1234. We eventually did go to Moynihan. Me and someone else went in that section because we got off of the C train. Yeah, the C train's on the 8th Avenue side of the station, which is close to Moynihan. Train. Anyways, what else you want to talk about? You want to talk about the SEPTA store you went to for rail fans out there?
Oh yeah, so SEPTA has a small gift shop actually at their headquarters building, which you could also get to by subway, which was really nice.
And they have a static display there too. Don't
Yep.
they?
In their basement, they had a PCC trolley.
Okay, John says, I fly a lot, so any recommendations on long trips via Amtrak? I frequently watch videos, would appreciate a video on trips, on long trips, what to bring, what not to cramp up on the legs, etc. Yeah, that's a good idea, John. There definitely are some tricks when going a long distance on the Amtrak. In the bedrooms, do you have any tips, Ryan?
I believe they only have one power outlet, so if you got to charge multiple devices at once, bring a power splitter.
Yeah. Well, I think the Viewliner 2s do have more than one outlet, but the Viewliner 1s, I think, only have one, and the Superliners have one. That's a good point. I know other people recommended to bring like some duct tape in case some of the doors to the closets are a little bit rattling or something's rattled. You can just kind of tie it down with a little piece of duct tape.
Yeah.
But they do provide all the water you need to drink, so you don't need to bring water. Your food is included, but you can bring snacks, especially like healthy snacks. Other than that, they provide blankets, pillows. That's about.
Yeah. But if you're traveling in Amtrak coach for long distance, I'd probably recommend bringing maybe a neck pillow, something to cover your eyes, and maybe some noise canceling headphones if you do plan to sleep on the train.
Very good suggestion. Very good. Yeah, and
Seems like you don't recommend coach or business class for long trips. I usually ride I ride Amtrak quite a bit, and from Boston to New York, that's about 4.5 hours.
you've also Altoona.
Yep.
Boston to
Yep.
Altoona.
Boston to Altoona. Yeah, that was like 14 hours, I think.
Yeah, and I've done New York to Charleston, South Carolina. The day train, which doesn't have any sleepers on it, so it's either coach or business. And I like to if I can, I like to kind of break it up and do the first leg to Washington or Northern Virginia, and then the rest. But that's doable. If you're going to do a long trip in coach, I do it in the daytime rather than at night, if possible.
I agree with that, yeah.
Anyways, we're coming up on a half an hour. Brian, you want to say anything, talk about anything else? I know you do a lot of photography too. I don't know if you want to mention that.
I'm good.
Okay. So anyways, I'll put the link to Boston Transit Production.
Yep.
That's the YouTube channel, Brian's YouTube channel. And I really appreciate him coming by and doing this with me, kind of a little bit of collaboration.
No problem.
Anyways, friends, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you on the rails someday.
Have a nice day.
Take care. How do I turn this off?
Maybe the X.
Alrighty, friends, this is it. Take care. Have a great weekend. God bless.